Hello, Modern Jeepers. Matson from MetalCloak here, and welcome to episode 177 of the ModernJeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers. Corey and Jessy join me for the ModernJeeper Compound on the western slope of Colorado, fresh from the 2022 All for Fun. We try to keep the topic on all things Jeep, but you know how that goes. We talk California fires, summer fun, all for fun, Skillz Day, Mother Nature's wrath, Topless for Tatas, and the importance of our Jeep family. This episode was sustained by a tasty packet of Baja Jerky, and man, was it good. If you like this episode, please share it with your friends and hit that subscribe button. Thank you. As always, we're extremely grateful to our supporters and friends, including Warn Winches, Raceline Wheels, Rugged Radios, Bestop, Milestar Tires, Adventure Rack Systems, and of course, MetalCloak. So sit back, relax to the cold one, and enjoy episode number 177 of the ModernJeeper Show.
The ModernJeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers.
Well, hey, Modern Jeepers, is another episode of the ModernJeeper Show with me, Matson from MetalCloak, and Mr. Modern Jeeper, Corey Osborne.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Rockstar Cheap Girl, Jessy.
Hello.
How y'all doing? You look so
We are-
studious.
We're
She's
doing
got-
good.
She's got her hair up in the bun. She's got her in the glasses. Very, very studious.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's warm today, so we've had such crazy weather,
Mhm.
and we'll talk more about this. But every afternoon it's monsoon season in western Colorado.
Monsoon
And,
season.
Yeah, and it's fabulous because we get all this moisture that we're so dry here. We're in the high desert, but which also attracts people from all over the country, which we'll get to in a little bit. But it's
Yeah,
hot. It's
hot.
and what's funny is you're gonna go, oh really? Yeah, well it's 85 here in Colorado, and you're like, come on, that's not hot. You guys probably got blankets on.
That's not hot. You don't know what hot is, brother. No, it's weird here though, because it's gone between being beautiful sunny days. We have a lot of fires going on right now, right?
Right.
Big fire. They were showing
Big
some
fire.
images from satellites yesterday. Like you can see the line of the smoke going as the fire is burning up the state. So, but you go between that and being cloudy and a little bit rainy and then cloudy. And then in Sacramento, you get fortunate. We have what we call the Delta breeze. And it's just the breeze coming in from the ocean up over the Delta. And that can be 105-degree day. But when the Delta breeze comes through, oh my God.
Yeah,
it
it's
feels so
okay.
good. Yeah, it feels so
Yeah,
good.
it's not like south where you get the Santa Ana winds, which are extremely that hot wind.
Yeah.
And this fire that you guys have going on is between everybody thinks, well, California only exists internally. They forget about between the I-5 and the coast is a significant amount of distance, and there's a lot of property and mountains and trees. Of course, the sequoias out there along the coast. So this big fire that you guys have had recently is between the 5 and the coast, not internal of the 5.
Right. And it's nasty. I mean, I don't even know what the acreage is now. I mean, it's hard to keep track of these things. It jumps overnight. It's massive. But it's just the thing is, it's commonplace now. It's expected out here. Like, oh, when does fire season begin?
It's not fire. Yeah,
it's not fire season. Oh, we got a few thousand acres here, a few thousand acres there. It's like, oh, when's the big mass? Oh, good, we got another. It's fire season. We got a giant fire, 100,000 acres, whatever, being burned up, people dying. What's the structures being destroyed? It's just fire season, guys. Nothing to worry about. It just happens here all the time, which is the sad part, because that's what we're kind of getting into. You look overhead, because where we're at, we're right in the path where McClellan has several of the tankers. So McClellan Air Force Base, or McClellan Field, whatever they call it now, has several of the tankers. So you look overhead and you see this giant, this 737 or whatever it is, flying out, and it's going to do another dump, and it's going to come back and fill back up and do another dump. And you see C-130s going out doing the same thing. It's just commonplace. Oh, it's fire season.
and the bad part about it is we're at that time of year again where the West is on fire and the East is flooding. So all of these monsoon season, these seasonal rainstorms we get here in Colorado, they just keep moving east. And Kentucky, West Virginia, all of those states back east, even some parts of Tennessee, they're having these horrible rainfalls, and it's washing out roads. It's just that crazy time of year. And the bad part about it is now everybody's traveling. They're going to events. They're trying to get to their vacation spots, and the weather comes into play. And then, of course, people on social media get upset because Mother Nature interfered with their plans.
Right. Yeah. Mother Nature. She's she's on the rag. I don't know. She's kind of crazy. But it is kind of it is. I don't know. The world is very interesting right now because it seems like everything is potentially explosive. The weather is potentially explosive. The people are potentially explosive. We're dealing in a moment where we have stuff going on in Asia right now, right? With a high level politics going on there that can be incredibly explosive, right? The what's happening in Europe and Ukraine and Russia, explosive, right? It's like, you don't know if what should you be doing right now? What should you be doing? I know what you should be doing. You should be getting in your Jeep and getting out and playing because it's still summertime. Yes. It is still summertime. In fact, we just released an ad. If you guys go out to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/MetalCloak, we just released an ad. In fact, we'll play it right now.
Nice. I like it. Yes.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's like, let's remember, this is all about fun, guys.
Yes.
It's summertime. Lots of shit going on in the world. Lots of stuff happening. Troubles here in the U.S., but it's still summertime.
It's still summertime. Fun. And it's kind of funny because social media is already talking about, oh, you know what? Fall's coming and here comes winter. And it's like, hold on. We still have a lot of summer left. There's still a couple of month and plus of summer left. And I think maybe the media drives our emotions and our feelings maybe a little bit too much.
They got to shop at Walmart for all the costumes already.
Right. Halloween costumes are out in Walmart.
Dude. Okay, Costco. So we go to Costco like 3 weeks ago for our just usual get some stuff, right? 2-3 weeks whatever. They have costumes there. Now, I love my wife. I love her dearly. But she doesn't listen. When I say, no, it's too far away from Halloween to buy costumes right now. Well, they like them and they're nice little outfits and they got them and they may not have the right size. They got the right size. Okay, cool. So what do you guys want to be? Josh wants to be a pirate. All right, cool. Jack wants to be a ninja. Okay. And Vivian gets the spacesuit. Awesome. Great little costumes. They're cool, whatever. Except I knew the reason why Jack and Josh wanted to have things with swords is because they wanted a sword fight with them right away. Also, because the most popular show they've been watching recently, the most popular movie is Sea Beast, where it's about these pirates that are hunters and they hunt the sea beasts, right? Cool movie. I think it's a lot of fun. But that was cool. That was like 3 weeks ago. Now the most popular video they're watching, the movie they're watching all over and over, is The Bad Guys, which has a wolf as a lead. A wolf, a snake, a shark, a piranha, and a tarantula are a gang of thieves. So as we're going through Costco the other day, because we had to take Josh's, it was too big, we had to get him a different costume. As we're going through, all of a sudden he's seeing that there's one that has fur. It's more meant to be like a werewolf, but it's a wolf. because that's what he's just. So now he wants to be the wolf. As I hit
Gotcha.
my thing really loud, he wants to be the wolf, right?
Gotcha.
I mean, it's like kids change their minds. You do not buy costumes 3 months before Halloween.
Yeah, we got a lot of time between now and then, for
Right.
sure. For
Right.
sure.
But yeah, it's great. Anyway, you get me down another whole other path.
Well, you know, we just finished. We were just at All for Fun,
Mhm.
which was in our home area.
Was it fun?
This year?
Was it
You
fun?
know what? I think again, we talked about this a couple of episodes ago, where some of these events go through growing pains, and it's a change of hands, it's a change of people in charge, and not knowing what to expect. And you know what? It turns out that it was a really good event. I think. I do think that there's some weather that follows this event, because last year in Leadville, it literally rained on us for 5 days, and we like spent our whole time in tent. Whereas here in
Wow.
Ridgeway, it was kind of similar. It rained every afternoon, but I think people did enjoy themselves. I think attendance was way down, but I don't think that's the fault of the coordinators necessarily. Your Ridgeway, your Ray, is a very difficult place to get to, and the Mile High Jeep Club that puts this event on, it's very difficult for them to come over for 2 weeks, because a lot of the people that help out with that event, they live in Denver. So to come over, set up a big tent, do all the planning, the pre-running, all of those things takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. The weather was bad enough that literally one night they had 10 Jeeps with their winches holding on to the giant tent.
Oh my gosh.
So it wouldn't fly away.
So the
Wow.
tent wouldn't become a giant kite.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you know, for us, we rolled in there, and I had some concerns, and the commander of the club kind of came over and said, he literally, they apologized to us for 10 minutes. And
Wait, you call him the commander of the club?
Yeah.
so this club is a little different structure wise. They have patrols.
Oh, I remember that. We had him on
Yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah, so there's a commander, there's different patrols, which the commander is kind of the head of the patrols in a way, and maybe one of the Mile High Jeep Club guys can chime in as to how that structure actually works.
I'll have we'll have make sure Gary links to our show notes to the previous episode, because we did have the commander at the time. Or was he the commander of the club, or was he just the head of the All for Fun patrol?
Yeah, yes. He was just the one of the coordinators, I guess. But you know, things come up, life gets in the way. We rolled in there, and people were like, "Oh my goodness, we're so glad you're here." And even some of the board members, which I had some interesting conversations with, even in Moab, because of the miscommunication, where you know, he basically came up to us and said, "I can't believe you're not going to All for Fun." I said, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, we haven't heard from you." And I'm like, "Well, that's funny, because I've had like 4 conversations with the head of the event." So again, I think that these clubs go through this, I don't know, growing pains, I'm going to call it. I kind of laid out where we wanted to be, and they came up and they said, "Well, what about in the back of everything, back here and back of the tent, in the back corner, in the back to where people can't see you? I think that'd be much better for you." Is because, and I kind of am standing there going, "Well, yeah, we definitely want to be in a place where nobody can see us." Like, what are we doing here? Turns out they had a plan, and their plan of traffic was to feed people through this giant tent and come out and have lunch. They set up tables where everybody could stand or sit next to the CTI trailer, and of course watch us do our thing. What
You were
it
the
did is
entertainment.
yes, and it attracted a lot of people. We were busy the whole time. I got to give, you know, again, sometimes I go into an event and I'm already got this kind of little wall built up, going, "Oh, this is going to be interesting. We're gonna see how this goes." This event is one of those events where it turns out we live in Colorado. I've been here a long time. To have the number of people come out to see us, and a huge shout out to Dan Kavanaugh and Joe Kavanaugh and a couple of these guys that I've known for years and years and years, and for them to come out, they're not interested in getting on the trailer. They want to see what's new. They want to chat. They want to catch up. Jeff Fish, who's been part of the Mile High Jeep Club for a long time, all these guys to come out and say hi. It's amazing what that does to you at an event. It makes you feel like you should be there, and there's a reason for us being there. So, yeah, it was fun. It was a good event. It started. I said, about 2 or 3 o'clock, it's going to start to rain, and they were all like, "Oh, it's not supposed to rain today." I'm like, well, I live just a little bit up the road. About 2 or 3 o'clock, it's going to start to rain. Sure enough, boy, 2 o'clock, everybody started running inside underneath the tent. We had to pack up everything in a hurry, and it started to pour, and the wind came up. But overall, I think it was a good event. Next year, they're saying that probably going to go back to maybe Buena Vista or maybe Leadville, but a good event overall, for sure.
Good. Well, I've only been to Alpha Front once, and that was when we came in through Silverton in the RV and pulling the CTI that first year, right?
Yep.
So been there once. That was great. It was a fun time.
You remember the rain, even all those years ago, there was one day where it just opens up the skies and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
Right. What I loved about it was just the cool little town, right? Like just, going, I would never have been into Silverton, would never gone to Silverton, Colorado, except for the fact that Alpha Foam was there. And it was a cool town, walked the town, went into some little funky dive that Guy Fieri had been at before, right? That was like their claim to fame. And it's a cool place. So I'm glad Alpha Fun's doing well. I'm glad that it turned out to be a good event for everybody. I'm sure they have growing pains and things will have to work out with the new leadership, but but that's
always
fine. Always happens.
I mean, again, a first time at this property, I don't think they really understood. And the event guys, we understand what an event looks like because we've been to them for a number of years. And then all of a sudden you start driving down this single lane road that that there's going to be Class A's and Class C's pulling large trailers, and you kind of go,
what were they thinking?
Did somebody look at this road before they kind of came down it? But again,
Google Maps, man, that's all you need,
right? Yeah. It says I can go there. It should be fine.
Yeah. I'm a little hungry right now because I haven't had lunch, so I'm going to tear into my bag of Baja Jerky. This is traditional beef flavor. They have some other ones there, but the little spicy ones. But I'm going to have some of this. I'm going to chew on it too. But I've never actually had.
This episode brought to you by Baja Jerky.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So our buddy, our Danny, who handles all of our safety manager stuff and all the great things. In fact, has been working on some other projects, including our new Durotina, which I'll have to share with you guys at some point. But just remember that term, Durotina. He brought by and dropped off some of these from these Baja Jerky. So the guys that do them, you can tell from the image on the back here, they're very much into activity and sports and all kinds of stuff, all things Baja, from relaxing on the boats to getting out there and playing, right? So
Baja Jerky.
Baja Jerky. So we're gonna do a fresh pack rip open here.
You'll have to give a report on whether or not it's as good or better than the Tillamook stuff we get.
Oh, dude, Tillamook stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I've been on a jerky kick for a while, but so it's a little thin. I like it. It's tender. And this is their original traditional beef jerky. They say it's smoky smooth with a smoky smooth. I definitely has a smoke though. Or like a lot of and I don't know if it's a smoke that's like, if they've actually smoked this, I can't tell myself if it's been smoked or if it's just that smoke flavoring.
Oh, interesting.
It tends to have more of a little bit of an aftertaste, so I think it might be more of a smoke flavoring, but it's a deep smoke flavor. Deep smoke flavor.
Nice.
Which is more than, that's pretty good. There's some deep
Well,
flavor there. Wow.
For our listeners, you'll have to go to modernjeeper.com and check out Jessy's recent review of our oven. So kind of we picked this thing up. She and I think Mike Upchurch as well bought one at the Off-Road Expo or the Overland Expo.
The Overland Expo, yeah.
Flagstaff.
Yes.
And so Jessy's been using it off and on a little bit to cook some meals here in the house to kind of get a feel for how it works. And of course, you can use it over a campfire, but it's literally a nice little portable oven. Yeah, I mean,
perfect.
Yeah,
it's perfect for two people.
Well, you got to go read the review to see how that thing.
I can't wait to use it in Death Valley when we go. So
that's right, Death Valley. Death Valley is live, guys.
It is live.
Death Valley, November. Was it November? November 11th.
Oh my gosh,
November.
And I'm looking at my notes here, and I'm thinking we have so much going on. So, and it's kind of a funny time of year. You know, we've been home. Well, I've done the off and on sick thing now for like 2 weeks where, oh no, I'm fine. And then I'm literally down and can't breathe and cough and dry hack. And
dude, we've been doing this for 2 years. What are you talking about? 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's, and you know, and the worst thing for me is the whole lack of energy thing. It's so hard for me to kind of go, hey, I need to get some things done and be motivated to do it. And as long as I have a list or something that I can kind of make check marks and focus on, I can get stuff done, but then I'm just wiped out.
You know, somebody, I was mentioning to him that I was tired lately, and my wife was like extremely tired, more so than usual. And that's all it's been. And somebody suggested I should COVID test, like the new variant of just like, there's just this, like, it's not even a sickness as much as it's just like just a wearing down of your body. It's kind of weird.
It is. And finding that motivation, I don't know whether it's a COVID thing or it's just the consequences of getting older or whatever. But we have been in, well, actually the last probably week, you know, it's kind of interesting. I've put a lot of thought the last 2 weeks into what we do, why we do it, our Jeep family and how important that is, how important it is. Somebody had made a comment about following your passion and doing those things you enjoy. And I think that's such an important thing for everybody in the entire country. And a lot of people are embracing that. But then what does that look like? Kind of, okay, you want to do something that you enjoy. Can you stay motivated for a long period of time? And the first thing that I thought of was, of course, family. This last couple week and a half or so, you know, Jessy went down to see her grandbaby and visit with her daughter. People ask us all the time, and we've talked about this in the past, how is it that you can keep doing what you do? Well, you know what? For me, I don't have any kids. So that is a huge difference. And I know Matson and I know a lot of the employees at MetalCloak and a lot of our Jeep family, they all have kids, and to go to an event and I'm looking at our schedule and I'm like, well, we're going to be gone for about 3 weeks again on the road. And you know, it's a good thing that we have people that can look after the house, take care of things here, be here, all of that. But really family. So my oldest younger brother, I have two brothers. We're 16 and 21 years apart. The older one, they just recently had a baby for themselves. Greg and Stevie had a kid, and he's just over a month old. And we went up there yesterday. I'm trying to get all of these visits done, right? So I completely now understand the family perspective where people are like, hey, I've got to go. You can't travel all the time. You have family responsibilities. And for me, luckily, I've not really had those until now, where, you know, Jessy's grandbaby is in Oklahoma. Stevie and Greg are in Grand Junction. They have a newborn. He's a month old, and he's really cool to go up there and hang out with him. But again, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking of all the things that I need to be getting done. And I think having a kid, oh my gosh, like how would I ever get anything done? And how we couldn't travel. We wouldn't be able to do any of this. So
Mhm.
again,
That's
just kind
very
of
selfish of you.
it is. It turns out that it's a very selfish thing. And, it's a very complex thing. And
It
we need to
is.
kind of
Mhm.
step back every once in a while and go, oh yeah, family, because of what we do, because of all of our listeners out there and everybody we meet at events, you guys make all this possible. And yet our families are that root that make it really possible for us to be out and about. So just a kudos to all of the folks who come out to Jeep events and be able to spend 2-3 days in an event. That's a huge commitment. And I don't
Mhm.
know. For me, I never, we don't put a lot of thought into it. We know we go, and it's not a big deal because we can leave and there's nobody else that we're forgetting to take care of. Yet I understand that a lot of people can't just do that. And that's a huge thing.
It is, and it's interesting as we're doing a family late in life, right? Whereas our
Mhm.
peers, my best friend and others, their kids are now adults and on their own or doing things, and so they're going out and enjoying their life right now. They're
Right.
going to places like Baja, they're going to Hawaii, they're going because they can, because they're quote unquote empty nesters, right? And we're
Mhm.
doing things a little bit differently, and so we have to make decisions a little bit differently. But there's my daughter Vivian. She's one of 13. So there were 12 other children born from the same woman, their bio mom, over the years, and all of them went to foster adopt. And we're friends with the families of some of those who have the siblings. And so one of them, which this awesome couple, for 20 years has always had this, like, ever since they were married, he works for the state doing some stuff. He's able to take a month off every year. And part of that wasn't that that's what all the time he has, it's just that he would negotiate, and he would take a month off. It didn't matter if he got paid or not for that time, or he would early furlough, he would take voluntary furlough time, and just be gone for a month every year. And they're right now, I think it was the month of July they were gone, but they, no matter what, they go camping for a month. And it started out with just him and his wife. That was their thing. Every month they'd go camping. Or every year they go camping for a month someplace, and they'd travel. And recently now they've got, I think, 4 boys. They've got their families, they've got the 4 boys, the 2 of them. And so they are now like, okay, now they're focused on still doing the same thing, still traveling, but making it work for their family. So they just bought a Suburban, right? An older Suburban. They fixed it up. He's got it all set up. They go camping again every year, no matter what, for a month. They load all up in there, knowing the cost of fuel, everything. It didn't matter. Load up into the Suburban, have all the bikes strapped in the back. There's 6 bikes hanging off the back of the right. And they just started heading north, and they had a whole big plan. Like, this thing's planned all year to be able to leave and go for that period of time. He did some kind of overlanding type stuff we would do in the back of our vehicles. He kind of built a bunch of racks and things in the back of his Suburban. And I ended up in Canada. I did some camping, whatever. Got sick along the way. I think they got COVID along the way, but they're still doing their thing. And I think they're done now. But the amount of effort to do that, the amount of effort to say, hey, it's summertime, this is our commitment, we're taking the entire family, we do this every year, we are gonna go camping. A lot of people, they have that kind of drive. That would be hard for us. Like, we have an
Absolutely.
RV and everything, and we can
Yep.
hop in and do it. But it would still be a hard commitment to say, no matter what variables in life come up, no matter what's happening, we're still going to go and have our vacation time. And you and I both know people that, whether it's Jeepers Jamboree or some of these other events, this is one of their vacations. They've been doing it for 30 years. EJS, right? They do it.
What you do.
This is part of
Yep.
their vacation. They plan that they're going to take vacation time from their job or bring their family or do whatever based on these Jeep events. Jeepers Jamboree is very much that way. This is the guys running Jeepers Jamboree now, the guys running the cook crew, all of them. They started out like, this was their family vacation. They were coming out here
Right.
since they were young out there, and this is that they do. So every year they show up, they volunteer for 2 weeks to do Jeepers Jamboree and Jeep Jamboree, and that's their vacation. No matter what else is going on, that's part of their vacation, and that's awesome. I can admire that. It'd be hard for me to do.
Well, and our you know, our whole industry is amazing, because what we enjoy doing, the reason we built these Jeeps that we all drive, and the reason that we continue to upgrade them and make them our own, is that we make them usable for us and our families when we want to go and do something and enjoy the outdoors. I hope, my hope is that we continue to get the opportunities to go and explore the outdoors, because like we've just been talking about, I think that's so huge. And I think that the we always try to talk all Jeeps, Jeeping and Jeepers, and again, this is our Jeep family. We all of these things we talk about and we bring up in all these episodes, and all the people, all of our guests that we've had on, have all tried to emphasize this Jeep family, this Jeep lifestyle, the land use aspect of all of it. I mean, heavens, I just got an email from the Blue Ribbon Coalition, which if you guys are paying attention, sign up to receive their little email updates. BRC, they do a really good job, and so I even got some emails from the National Park Service where there are issues coming about that we just, and I think even in the East Coast, it's kind of like, yeah, whatever. There was an issue where we were talking about, and Cal 4 Wheel is in front of this issue with the Joshua trees, and they were trying to get the Joshua trees named as a threatened species. Well, that sounds good. Yeah, we should protect the Joshua trees. But here's what happens. We end up designating these things as threatened, and then, oh, by the way, now you can't go near them. So no more motorized activity, no more, all of these things change because of these designations. So while it seems like, well, that's a smart thing to do, we need to protect these things by designating them, and even and Blue Ribbon Coalition and Cal 4 Wheel, these are entities and clubs that are against, and they voted against it. And when I first started reading the article, I'm like, well, that seems kind of ridiculous. Why would you not want to protect them? Well, because if they get, and they did this study, and they did a whole bunch of research, and they deemed that these aren't going anywhere. There's millions of them, and it's okay. And so again, like that whole,
really, I'm sorry, but really, we can blame U2. I mean, U2, who seems to be this, band that really brings inspiration and ideas to everybody. Nobody knew what a Joshua Tree was before their album came out called The Joshua Tree. Nobody knew what the hell that was.
Right.
So it's all there. It's all U2's fault. So Bono, you're screwing us, man.
Yeah, you're really messing
the Joshua
things
Tree
up.
is dying because of you, Bono.
That's right.
Sorry.
And again,
end of my rant.
we go back and forth with so many things, and what we should protect and what we should stand for. What do we help? How do we even know anymore what is good or bad? Because some things may sound, oh yeah, we should do that. Well, it's kind of like, everybody knows, our listeners, I'm not a political guy, but I will say that, just because the media says that they voted no on some bill, and then they use the headline of the bill as the reason that they said yay or nay, like there's so many other things that are layered into some of this stuff that we never get to see, and we don't pay attention to because we're not reading these all in their full context. So again, when we get involved with land use, I think it's very important for us to understand the context of it all. I mean, heavens, the National Park Service right now, I just got alerts from Death Valley, the Mojave National Park, the desert out there. We're getting all these alerts because, oh, guess what? Well, Mother Nature has interfered with your plans, and some of these roads have been washed out and they're closed.
Have you seen the pictures of Mojave? I was going to bring up Mojave. It's like incredible. Like these roads are just gone.
The roads are gone.
All the roads into Mojave are closed.
Yeah,
because of these flash floods. And it's like,
that's right.
but it reminds you, and I don't mean to divert here a little bit, but it reminds
you're
you
good.
one thing: Mother Nature and this planet is far more powerful than you and I and anything
Ever.
we can build. I'm sorry. I mean, a flood comes and destroys a road like that. Just reminds you. I mean, Yosemite, like that, right? Reminds you that we're just temporary. We happen to be temporary residents on this big ball, and Mother Nature can screw with us anytime it wants. And yeah, we could probably go and destroy ourselves and kill ourselves with a bunch of nuclear bombs and everything else and destroy climate. We're not going to destroy the planet. The planet's going to be around long after we are. We're just, they're just, it just, the power of Mother Nature, especially when, like I said, when she's on the rag, is pretty bad.
Yes. And it, again, we're bombarded with, I told Jessy this morning, I'm like, I really dislike this time of year for where we live. We live in one of the most amazing, beautiful areas of the entire country. And it rains. We're in monsoon season, like we've talked about. And yet, if you go on social media, people are upset because they're not able to run the trails they wanted to do because the weather got bad. You know what? Go back east, go back into Kentucky, and go back into West Virginia, and their beauty that they have, and the fact that people are losing their homes, their livelihood, their jobs, their businesses are being flooded away. And we have the gall to kind of step up and go, I was on vacation and I wasn't able to do the things I wanted to do because Mother Nature said it was going to rain for 5 days.
And no one will go hurry up and fix it for me.
Yeah, where's the tractors? Where's the road crews? They should come fix it because I'm on vacation. Wow, how did we get here?
Well, there's a point of view there. It's like, yeah, dude, and that's part of your vacation. Like the whole point of a vacation, the whole point of going and doing something isn't like, well, I planned this schedule and we're planning on doing these 5 things. It's part of the adventure, guys. Live life as an adventure. I mean, all of a sudden something comes up and you can't go do this because, we had this plan. Well, you know what? Enjoy the adventure. What else is going on? Look around you. Maybe you got to divert and go left instead of right. It's the adventure. It would be fascinating to live a life where, and if when I was younger, I kind of wanted to do this, and the technology wasn't yet up to being able to do it. I had a couple of website clients when I was in my 20s, and I had this thought, well, I can build if I just have them as a website client, and I'm confident that we can do their stuff, I could take my little laptop and I could travel, right? Technology wasn't there well enough to be able to have good internet and be able to do the traveling you wanted to do and be able to do it. But I was just going to throw everything in the back of the Blazer and just start going across the country and just no plans, right? Just when you get to a crossroads, just decide left or right. Let's take this exit. Let's take exit. That looks interesting. Just do it. I mean, that is the life of enjoyment. And if you're young and you're listening to this podcast, like, unless you have something that ties you down, like, go out there and live life. I think that's a lot of what people were doing in 2020 and 2021 when they just decided to live life, right?
Yeah, they realized that things can get taken away from us, some of our freedoms just in an instant. And I think it's extremely important for people to get outside. Again, there's that respectfulness, there's that little bit of education that they need to do, a little bit of research. And you know what? I'm going to throw this out there. Facebook probably isn't your best option when it comes to good information about an area. I know everybody is using it as such, but you know what? You can actually go to the individual websites for the areas you're going to, whether it's the town, the county. There's other options. Other people saying, we were just talking about Black Bear Pass, which is notorious in Colorado.
Right.
And a guy posted, he said, you know what? You get 2 responses when you ask about Black Bear Pass. You get the guy who said, I did it in a side-by-side. We did 65 miles an hour the entire time. I never even saw any steepness to it. It was no big deal. We did the whole thing in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Along with the guy in the full-size Dodge Ram pickup pulling a fifth wheel and with a 3-axle trailer, and he went down it no problem. And and the other post is, oh, I'd never do that. Not even on a bicycle. It's the most extreme, craziest, scariest, deadliest road I've ever seen in my life. So
Wow.
wow. So, okay, you did it pulling a trailer and you wouldn't do it on a bike or hiking it. Where's the right thing? And it turns out it's how you would feel doing it. And nobody can give you that kind of advice.
Mhm.
There's a reason that the rental Jeep companies in the area don't allow people to go over Black Bear. Um, you may think it's if you don't have a height issue, it's not that big a deal. But if you do, the consequences of a mistake are catastrophic.
Mm.
So it's
Mm.
such an interesting environment we're in. It seems like people are either, oh, don't go there, or dude, you can do it driving your blindfolded and pulling a trailer. Like, okay, I mean, it's very interesting, and I'm part
You
of.
can do it blindfolded, pulling a trailer.
You
Yes?
can definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've seen
When
it.
there's that
Yeah.
free falling feeling, when you're blindfolded, you know that you're not on the road anymore.
Pin it to
Um,
wind it. Just
yes,
gun it. If you're free
yeah.
falling, just gun it, right? That's all it takes.
Yeah, you know what? There's some beautiful places, and I mean, it's things like I want to give a shout out to our friend Chris Collard, who was just at Jeepers this last
Hmm.
weekend. Oh, by the way, he drove his CJ that was a 2-inch lift on 32-inch tires all the way into Rubicon, all the way out Cadillac, all the way to the other side. Guess what? Didn't break, didn't need a strap, but again, driver skill has everything to do with it. This whole thought that I need 40s and I need $150,000 Jeep to go the places that I want to go. You know what's more important is the time that you've spent in that driver's seat. Again, did Chris talk about a little bit about hey, I had to watch my line. I had to drive. But that's not what we're all about anymore. We're all about, look how cool I am in these bigger, badder, big Jeeps. So I don't have to even pay attention. I can go. These trails are all easy. Everything's easy for me
Everything's
now.
easy. When you're on
Yeah.
40s, everything's easy.
Uh,
Well,
yeah.
that is funny because you look at, like, let's use motorcycles for example, right? It's the same thing, right? The rice rockets that came out in the 80s and made it super easy for anybody to ride because
Yep.
they were super. They were lightweight. You could do a lot of stupid stuff wearing flip flops and a pair of cutoffs
And shorts and
Yeah.
shorts and a tank top and no helmet. You can do a lot of stuff. But you take that same guy off of that bike and you put him onto a Harley, he can't ride it.
Yeah,
It's
he's like, what?
it's a different bike. And the same thing's true now. All these guys, they have these build rigs and technology, and the jail is amazing, and off-road mode is amazing, and all this technology and all the stuff you can put in there, you can get out there and play and just point and shoot.
Mhm.
But you take a guy, I mean, I'll admit, you put me in a flatty, I'd probably have a hard time. Like
Right.
even my YJ was well built. I mean, I had 37s on a 3.5, was it a 5.5 inch reverse shackle lift kit, but I still was a great rig, right?
Right.
Like, but you put me in a flatty, like some of these guys out there driving these little, going, I'd have a hard time. I'd have a hard time. I mean, just because you have to actually really, really, really know what you're doing
Well,
and
it's
slow
that
down.
old. It's the going to Moab, and you think you have the baddest built Jeep on the planet, and you've driven it all of 3 months since you went and picked it up from the guy who built it for you. And then it's the guy in the $2,500 Suzuki Samurai that comes and wheels circles around you and passes you on one of these massive hills, and you kind of go, oh, um, hopefully, hopefully what people see and read and hear doesn't keep them from going and doing the things that they need to do. Now, that said, I also want to talk about preparedness, because people should not go out thinking that someplace like Poughkeepsie or Black Bear or the Rubicon is so easy that I can take whatever I want out there because I'll be fine. That
Right.
is not the case. And my point is that, the preparedness side of things. I mean, one of our sponsors, Warn, in conjunction with Factor 55, safety is always and should always be first. And being prepared, go prepared, their slogan, is huge. And Matson, you even, I mean, we've seen on social media the tragedy that existed from the hitch snapping off, the ball hitch, somebody trying to get pulled out. There
Right.
are so
Right.
many things that are wrong with that, and we could talk about that on a whole nother episode. But the reality of it is that, think about what you're doing before you get yourself into a situation that you shouldn't be in the first place at all. So,
Slow down.
yeah, bad things can happen. We've all seen it. This is a huge reminder, and there's been that image, those images of this gentleman dying from the hitch breaking is now gone. It's all over the place. It's becoming one of the most. But again, what do people like? Well, they like carnage. They like tragedy. They like when bad things happen because they want to see it and they want to feel it. But does it change their behaviors? That's the key. So again, the preparedness thing, go find your club, go find a Skillz day, go find a trainer, go find an old guy that has been there, done that, and go out with him. I've been fortunate all my years of wheeling. I get to go hang around guys who do professional recoveries for a living, and they don't jump in, hey, we got to get this Jeep back up on its side, hurry quick. And it's not, there's never a rush, because we want to be safe. So
yeah, that's interesting you say that. I've told this story before, so I'll tell it again just because it's perfect. There's a guy named Cowboy, and he is old time Rubicon guy. I met him when I was first going on the Rubicon with that YJ I mentioned, because the Rubicon Express leaf springs that were in there had broken, like literally as I'm starting to go into down the slabs and go into Gatekeeper, we notice that there's a broken leaf. So I back out. Cowboy shows up with his sticks and his batteries, and he just starts to stick welding this thing. I mean, I think the thing was like 4 inches thick when he was done. And we go out, and later on I came back. I found him in camp because he was one of the mechanics in there at Rubicon Springs. And his he was like, we were talking a little bit, and he goes, what's wrong with all you guys is you wheel in here and you wheel in as fast as you can because you want to get to your camp and you want to hang out and party, but you have no freaking clue as to what you just passed. He goes, so he had this 200-to-1 crawl ratio flatty. It was so slow that you could walk, like literally put it in there and just get out and walk and pack it, just walk it. And he got me in there and he set it up, really cool rig, the way he had things set up. And he wanted it. And it was like late at night. He just get in the seat, right? Old guy, just get in the seat. So I sat down and he started taking me, and we just started actually going, and he's crawling around on some of the rocks in the area. And he's like, you didn't have to worry about the vehicle. You didn't have to worry about anything else. You just kind of went, and yeah, you can stop and look around you, right? See around you, enjoy the beauty around you. But sometimes these old guys, they kind of understand, because guess what? That's what they were doing 50 years ago, 60 years. They weren't just going in. It wasn't about the destination. It was about the travel. And many times we kind of forget that. It's not about the destination. It's about the travel. When you guys go cross country, there are times, I'm sure, where you're going the same path. You've seen that same stretch of road, 20 times.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, if you can get off a little bit direction, go and just see something new, it's cool. It's about the travel. Get out there and enjoy the moments of the travel. When I was a kid, we took a trip up to Canada in an RV. I didn't get my homework done, so I got the penalty of not enjoying the travel because they made me close the blinds, sit down at the table as we're driving through. And as we're driving through, this is one section, I think, of Montana. We were going up Montana, Wyoming, whatever, in that area. And my dad's like, oh, it's so beautiful. And it's like the leaves had changed. The fall color has changed. It was gorgeous. I wasn't allowed to look at it. Because I didn't get my homework done. I had to sit at the damn table while we're doing this trip, and because I was not allowed to enjoy the travel. So enjoy the travel, not
Yes.
just the destination.
Yeah, and that's a huge, as we drive, there's an event going on right now that people have come from back east. They're headed to Colorado to go wheel in Colorado. No different than Easter Jeep Safari, where people come from all over the country to
Right.
make it to Moab, and they're driving through places like Kansas and Oklahoma, and I did the same thing for many years. Remember that there are some amazing places. Kansas rocks. There's off-road parks in Kansas. There's
Mhm.
off-road parks in Oklahoma. There's
Mhm.
all these places that we just, well, no, I'm going to the Rubicon, or I'm going to I'm going to Windrock in Tennessee. I'm going, like, we get fixated on this end result, and yet we bypass so much stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
It
roadtrippers.com does a really good job of showing you some of
Yes.
the things that you may not pick up as you travel around, and we use it sometimes, but we make a lot of these routes back and forth across. We always try to take some kind of a, hey, we've never gone and seen the largest ball of twine. And does it sound dumb? Yeah, and it may be when you
But
get
it's
there, but you know
fun.
what?
But it's cool.
And you remember those things.
Mhm.
If you take a trip and nothing bad ever happens, you drove from here to New York, what do you remember about it? Well, nothing, because nothing happened.
Mm.
That those times where you either lose a tire, or you had a bad hotel or a bad camping experience, you all of those things, that's what causes you to remember a trip.
Mm.
So never think that, oh, that was a horrible trip. Remember, because guess what? 10 years from now, all of those horrible things, those are going to be the things that you talk about. You're not going to talk about the things that there was no issues with.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's it. You're going to talk about the little adventures. I mean, how many times just growing up in life, you look at the things, you remember those little incidents. You remember
Yep.
all the good things that happen every single day as you're going through. You remember little incidents, little moments, those times, the good ones, the bad ones, whatever, that they stick with you. The same's true about these trips. I know when Luis and I went cross country, pulling the CTI trail in 2014, I had destinations. I had 15 hours of driving in between stops. And I didn't get a chance to see and look at stuff. It was just go, 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 go. How are we doing on time? Go, 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 go. How are we doing on time? Don't worry, baby. It's the RV can handle 80 mile an hour going through a curve. It's okay. You just go, go, go. And yeah, you do that. You don't take the time to really, really look at life around you. Yeah. So thinking of events, because we've got Sierra Trek coming up, which we had one of our
Trek is next weekend, which
Yeah.
I am
Oh,
bummed.
wow.
We're so bummed that Sierra Trek, and for the folks, our listeners on the East Coast and whatnot, if you've ever wanted to do a really cool event
Mhm.
and you want to make it a bucket list thing, yeah, how about Fordyce? How about
Yeah.
Sierra Trek? How
Yeah.
about going out and wheeling with a really good group of people? Jessy and I have never done it. Again, it's kind of conflicts with another a bunch of events that we have coming up, but Sierra Trek is an amazing event. We have so much coming up. We have Topless for Tatas, a
Right.
huge
Right.
fundraiser charity event out in Roush Creek in Pennsylvania that we'll be heading to. We have an event called Adventure Appalachia, which kind of started off of XBDN Milestar's event last year. So Jerry Bain and some really great trail guides back east, along with a huge land use advocate, Mark Maynard. Mark is the senator in West Virginia, and he actually goes out with us on these roads. I can't imagine a better person to have when we're off road, because he was blown away last year. Last year he was like, "Oh, you guys actually do a lot of trail stewardship and all that goes along with it." So after Topless for Tatas, we have Adventure Appalachia. It's going to be in West Virginia. It's going to be with Mark Maynard, huge land use guy, and then we have Pigeon Forge. So we have the Great Smoky Mountain
Mm.
Jeep Invasion, which is, you know what? I'm going to say it. It's bigger than Jeep Beach. For all you guys who think that Jeep Beach is the end all be all, you know what? It's really cool because Jeep Beach is of
It's
course on
different.
the beach. It's in
Right.
Daytona.
It's different.
But Pigeon Forge has a lot to offer. And we're even actually going to get to see Matson out at the event. So if you're out in Pigeon Forge, the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion, it's going to be epic this year.
And hot.
And hot.
Yeah, great. Thanks for the reminder. Yeah, we're gonna be
Yeah.
out there. I decided to head on out, so I'll be there like I believe just Friday and Saturday. I think I'm
Yep.
taking a red eye out Thursday night. The classic red eye that everybody takes. Get it there about 8:33 a.m. You arrive in Knoxville, and then I'll hop in my car rental and come up and meet you guys. So as you, but that'd be cool. It'd be good to see that event finally. I've been wanting to get up there for years. I am going to be at Sierra Trek. I will be there. It turns out I decided I'm going to take my boys up there and we'll do some camping. So we're not going to go up
That's
Fordyce, but we are going to
that's
go
awesome.
take the truck up. And it is because it's very much a family friendly event. You got the
Yes.
private lake there. You've got all kinds of fun stuff, and it's going to be great for, there's lots of kids and lots of kids activities. So we're going to go up there, go camping Friday night. So if you're coming out Saturday just to see the vendor booth, because that happens, people just come out for the vendor stuff. Come on by and take a look. I'll be out there and it'll be fun to see everybody. It's been such a long time. Besides all the things that we do, Sierra Trek's one of those events that we kind of own. We sponsor everything we can there. So there's all kinds of stuff from the fire pit to the stencils, the shirts, the cups, everything. We sponsor a lot. So we really enjoy the event, and I hope everybody else does too. But one of these days I will actually try to get out there. What's that?
Make sure you bring your bathing suit with you to Pigeon Forge.
Oh yeah, bathing suits.
We don't hang out at the clubs. We hang out at the pool.
So I'm gonna throw this out there to our listeners, and Matson, maybe you can kind of maybe cringe a little bit here, but he and I, just so our listeners know, we have not talked about this. Jessy and I have had a little bit of conversation about this, but Pigeon Forge is one of those events where, for some other reasons and whatnot, we have an opportunity there. I think that we could make this maybe the kickoff event is ours. And what I mean by ours, I'm saying it could be a MetalCloak event. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that and see how that all plays out. But I think it's important for us to be more involved in some of these community events where we can make an impact. We can again, that Jeep family. It's what we love, and it's the reason we keep going to these events. So when out in California, when Sierra Trek's out there and MetalCloak does such a huge job of supporting Cal 4 wheel events, this all plays together. There's a reason behind the madness, and our listeners they may not have any. They may be in, I don't know, South Texas, and they can't get to Sierra Trek, or they can't get to Pigeon Forge. But believe me when I say that we have all of your interests at heart, and we want to make these events a special thing, and we want to bring you into the Modern Jeeper / MetalCloak family. So, yeah, I think there's more good things to come, and I think as this family thing evolves and people become more they start to realize more about why they go out and do these things. Again, without the Jeep family, these events, I have there's no ownership interest for me to go. Why would I want to go work harder to go to additional events? Well, it's because I get to see all of our listeners and all of our followers and other Jeepers and hear their stories. That's what it's all about.
They wait for us to give them advice.
That's right.
Hunt us down.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's all. And that's the fun part about it. And that's the thing that I miss, is getting out to events and be able to see people. And, Jeepers Jamboree, I could have gone, but it's not a kid friendly event. Jeepers Jamboree, Jeep Jamboree the next weekend is, but there were so many people I would have loved to have seen and hung around with and talked to. But over the loud music and the constantly flowing alcohol, which was fun.
And this is why we do our Modern Jeeper adventures. I mean, these events are not, you're not going to see 50, 80, 60, whatever, 100 rigs on any of our trips because that's not who we are. It's not what we're about. So the Colorado trip is open. A shout out to those folks who have shared a couple of the links that we've put out there. My desk is full of books and maps and again, I know this area very well, and yet I still spend a lot of time going back through and verifying and the research and the stories and the history. That's all very important to us.
Well, there's more than just Imogene, Ophir, and Black Bear.
Yes.
There's tons more out there.
So much more, and for all of that, you guys understand when you go and do an event like this, Corey is your narrator. I mean, he's narrating the world for you, telling you the history. There's no other event like it. It really isn't. I don't think anybody else does it like this, where and it really is. It's a passion that Corey has, and he's just embraced it. And I think it's been incredible because it's what makes Death Valley so incredible these days. It was what makes any of these events well, and the Colorado one, I'd love to get out there and enjoy it, but I'm going to wait till year 3 when he's really refined his thing. I'm not an early adopter. You guys know that. Speaking about early adoption, for those that are watching it on the video, check this out. This is surprise. Is coming along, guys. This is our Rock Sport Reservoirs.
Can't wait.
So for
Rock Sport,
for all the folks, it's kind of been interesting because the last couple of weeks, Matson and I haven't chatted a whole lot. We've both been very busy, and we're kind of, I feel like we're respecting each other's time and whatnot. But I know, and I've seen pictures, and I've shared. I've seen images. These guys at MetalCloak, there's some cool stuff coming. In fact, we had a couple conversations that are all for fun. And I'm telling people, like, hang on a second. Keep checking metalcloak.com because, again, guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we do if they made crappy parts, right? Yeah. I mean, so again, there's so much coming that we can't stay even on top of it a lot of times, and I have to find out from maybe some other sources like, oh yeah, by the way, we're coming out with some things.
We had to finally add you to the new product list, right? So the notification board.
Yeah, the stuff that's coming out of MetalCloak is phenomenal, and I'm super excited. Like we know our followers. We see them on the CTI trailer. We see them at events. Well, hold on to your hats because it doesn't stop. There's super exciting things still to come.
Yeah, there's so much coming down the pike, and it's kind of an interesting year because some of the stuff's been in development for a couple of years, and it just happens to be culminating into coming this year. And it's just a matter of just time, like little things do. We have to get new machinery to be able to make certain parts, to be able to do stuff and be able to source it all together. And it's exciting. It's exciting because it's all coming through. Not only that, but stuff you guys have seen on social media, if you're paying attention. Also, if you join my email list, you just go to metalcloak.com, join our email list. And the stuff we put out now in my weekly newsletters, sometimes if I don't have a new product of the week to share, I might share a spy pick of the week. I might share a video of the week. I might share, never know, but it's going to be something cool. And a couple of weeks ago, we did do that. We did a spy pick of the week with a couple of new products that are coming through. And let me tell you, they are exciting. It's exciting stuff. And it's all the stuff that we want. That's what we do around here, right? We're an engineering driven company, which means we're constantly innovating. Engineers don't like sitting around with their thumbs, just sucking on their thumbs, trying to figure out what to do. Right. They like to create. So, and especially if they're right engineers, guys that like to just tinker and come up with new ideas and then pop new things out. Next thing you know, and this is some of the stuff that it comes out, like the product we released last night. Simple little thing. What is it? It's a rack simply to hang
rack for your tools. Like,
your tools. You just cordless tools. It's a gold zinc rack for your shop. It has MetalCloak on it. It hangs your tools. It's nothing. I mean, we didn't innovate it. We didn't create it. We didn't invent the idea. But come on, dude. It's gold and it's got a MetalCloak level and it hangs on your shop. So everybody needs it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just go on. In fact, I'm sure there's one on its way to you, Corey, because you need that kind of stuff in your shop.
I do need that kind of stuff. Well, there's all kinds of like.
Do you have a bird feeder yet? Did you put a bird feeder up?
I don't really got a bird feeder.
You didn't get a bird feeder?
Tons of birds. No.
I know you got lots of birds. You probably
we'll have to come out to the home office and do some shopping.
All right, you have bird feeder because I have a feeling if you have all those birds with one, that might actually become a source of like trouble. Like you might actually create like gang fights.
Like gang fights, yeah.
We already have gang fights.
We have a Rufus hummingbird that comes in every year, and when the Rufus shows up, and people that follow hummingbirds and that kind of thing, I'm kind of a hummingbird guy. The Rufus will chase all the other hummingbirds away, and it's kind of funny because when two Rufus show up, it's really a battle.
Oh,
and
wow.
You got to be careful when you walk outside. You might get stuck with a hummingbird.
Yeah.
So all I know about hummingbirds is if one ever starts building a nest near your back patio, get rid of it quickly. Little baby hummingbirds are the messiest little shitters you'll ever see. They will literally, it's like, oh, it's so cute. Because my grandmother had a hummingbird feeder, and the little oh, it's so cute. She's making a nest there. And every day there were 1,000 little shits on the back patio door. I mean, they just spit it out. I don't know what they do, but it's just target practice. The back patio door was covered with them. So just no, don't let hummingbird nests come near you.
Well, here's a sneak peek of the newest
new toy.
So the new toy.
God, that looks like a Star Trek drone, like a shuttle.
It's the new 3 DJI Mini Pro. We'll see. So a little bit better, a little bit more technology than the drone I used before. So hopefully now I don't have to drive and fly the drone. Of course, he's usually driving now, so I can operate the drone. So hopefully we get better footage and coverage from some of our events, because this thing can kind of go off and do its own thing.
Yep.
That's awesome. And speaking of one of the events you'll probably get better coverage on, you announced, Jessy, your event's coming up, right? It's
the Rim Rocker
when is that
Trail.
scheduled?
We are having our I guess it's dinner and check-in on the 15th, and then we will head out early in the morning on the 16th.
August 15th?
On a couple days on the 15th.
September.
Yeah. So September. Okay, I was going to say
September.
Sorry.
Yeah, September 15th. So September 15th. So you are, and how's that coming? How's the registration on it?
It's a little slow. People are still
trying to figure it out
because they're either fixing something or they just came back from somewhere, and gas prices are.
So it's going to be the week after.
This is the ladies only event, right?
This year, I'm going to include men.
So it's the week
only as
after.
Passengers.
Yeah, right.
Well,
it's the week after our San Juan event. So if people want to stick around, they can tie into the Rim Rocker event, and we'll see how it goes.
That's awesome. Well, then right after that, we do that. We have Off-Road Expo. And then we have Skillz Day. Skillz Day went live just last week, and I think we're at 55 registrations out of 100.
Nice.
In a matter of 4 or 5 days. And as I remind everybody, we eliminated the advanced beginner this cycle. Right. It's only for novices. Now, if you happen to be the advanced beginner, if you're not a novice and your wife is, and you want your wife to go do this, that's or your husband, because I don't want to be discriminating, it could be the other way around,
right?
Or that you're they them whatever, your A B C D E F G's, whatever.
Pickle.
It's the new word.
Pickle. I like that. Pickle.
Yeah. Pickle. Identify as a pickle.
I identify as popcorn. It's a pickle. That's rather phallic of you to identify as a pickle.
Yes.
Ribbed or non-ribbed?
Yeah.
But it's whatever, it's all about going out and just having fun and learning. And it's such a needed thing. And I really am looking for an opportunity that we can create this as a national program.
Yes.
And help train people across the country, because it's just so needed.
It is.
If we get this many people that are just in our little region here wanting to learn how to use their Jeeps, there must be people across the country. And if you're a club, by the way, shout out to some clubs have been reaching out to us. I'm going to figure out what to do about this. We have had some clubs reach out to us based on a previous conversation in the podcast about the educational programs they do. And so we're working on what we can do about that.
Yeah,
and how we can help.
we've had some amazing stories come about what some of these clubs are doing. It's fantastic.
Sure.
I mean,
Amazing.
and again, if any of these clubs need ideas, I'm gonna throw us in there. I'm gonna throw Cal 4 Wheel out there. Like, go to their websites and see what they're doing, how you can do more in your club internally. Cal 4 Wheel, of course, is a huge organization, but they do such a good job of the variety of things. I mean, they have land use people, they have all of these district or area managers, basically. But the stories that we've gotten so far have been just phenomenal. And you know what? And again, I'm gonna throw the Jeep family term back out there, because in all of our podcasts, if you were to go back, and we've had a few people reach out and go, "Hey, I'm going back through some of your old stuff and some of these old conversations that we've had." We've had some amazing people on, and please know that these are folks that we've had relationships with for many years. So guys that have been super influential in the off-road industry have been on our podcasts. And to listen, you go back and you listen to some of those conversations and you kind of scratch your head and you go, huh, yeah, I could do that, or I should be more of a part of this, or something like that. I think that's huge. So
absolutely. Yeah. Well, for all of our modern Jeepers out there, this is just you guys are what make this fun for all of us too, right? From this, as Corey said, meeting you guys, and as Jesse said, meeting you guys out there in the events, meeting you on the trails, doing the things, it just makes it fun. Yes. And there's so much more that we can do. There's a lot of stuff that we've talked about. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about a new contest. A social contest, a testimonial video contest. We were going to get that live last week, but of course we had Tony Carvalho, and Tony has already agreed to come on for part 2. Because if you notice at the end of last week's episode, it got a little bit rushed because, well, it turns out his CEO was standing there going, "I need something," and so he was a little distracted. But he wants to do part 2 because there's so much we haven't talked about on his. So stay tuned for that.
We just scratched the surface. So
we're gonna stay tuned for part 2. We'll get that one in and get more and more from Tony about his Jeep, about electric paint, about all kinds of amazing stuff, and as well as just the other events and things going on. It's obviously a crazy time. So we do appreciate all of you Modern Jeepers for joining us. Corey, anything else you guys have before we wrap up this amazing episode?
I think we're good, buddy. Deep breath for everybody out there, and we hope to see you at an upcoming event. And
not in California.
Upcoming event.
What's that? You can't do a deep breath in California because you'll burn a bunch of smoke.
Yeah, no deep breaths out there.
No deep breath. But we're wearing masks out here for a different reason now.
Yeah. Yuck.
Yuck.
Well, we hope to see. For the folks that are going to be in Pigeon Forge in the Great Smoky Mountain event, or at Chantel and Chris Kern's event, Topless for Tatas, we'll see you there. And if not, thank you so much to our Jeep family that makes all of this fun and possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And we hope this is another episode you enjoyed listening to. If it is, please share it with your friends. Help build that subscriber list for us. If you're watching it on youtube.com/ModernJeeper, just click that subscribe button and share and give comments and share it out. And like I said, did I use the word share? I think I used that already.
Share.
And make sure share is the word of the day.
Share.
For no apparent reason other than the fact that it's the word of the day. If you happen to share this video, maybe we'll give you something. Maybe we won't. Maybe we just are proud of you sharing. But if you just go and you can reach out at Matson@MetalCloak.com, Corey at MetalCloak.com, Jessy at MetalCloak.com. Check us out at ModernJeeper Adventures. All the fun activities coming up. I really hope you can join us at one of these great trips coming up and schedule it out. And look, you can schedule out for several years. That's fine. We'll start planning for 2024 if you want to. Just send us an email. And we'll put you on the list.
That's right.
And tell us when you want the date to happen and start planning it now. We'll plan it around for you. Bring out a family trip. That would be awesome. Outside of that, my friends, hope you guys enjoy yourselves and have fun on the trails.
Cheers.
See ya.